Okay.
Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today we continue our exploration with Olympian paths. And in specific, we're going to be talking to Pamela Joy Fernsler, who has her own unique Olympian path. Greetings, Pam. How are you?
Pretty good. I stayed awake for you tonight.
I'm greatly honored. It's easier to interview somebody if they're awake. So, how did you first become aware of the presence of the Olympians in your life?
I was 16 years old, and Apollo was the first one that I kind of latched onto, and I wrote a story about the people who lived in the sun, and I called them Apollini.
Hmm.
And they were fun people, and they welcomed me with open arms. And that's the first time I ever, you know, had an interaction with anything to doing with Apollo. And the second one would have been Athena, almost right on his tail.
Did you know that in ancient Greco-Roman literature there are people of the sun described?
At that point in time, I did not.
But now you know. Yeah, the one thing I can think of offhand is there's a book called The True Story, where it's like the Odyssey, where people are on a voyage and they're going to different places, and some of the places that these folk went were other planets, including the luminaries, because the sun and the moon were considered to be planets back then. The sun and the moon, and Phaethon was in charge of the sun. He was the son of Helios, and Endymion, who was Selena's lover, was in charge of the moon.
Well, interestingly, at the time, I was in my second year of Latin
Ah,
in
okay.
high school. So that I probably had a lot to do with an intuitive recognition of Apollo, sort of as a friend. And also, I think, I forget if it was the first season or not, they had Apollo in Star Trek.
Yes, I don't remember what season it was. That's one of my favorite science fiction.
And boy, did he look good. I liked him.
And you've spoken a lot about Zeus and Artemis in your conversations with me, so they seem to be very dominant in your life right now.
Zeus probably is. Artemis, she sometimes sits with me when I watch the zoo shows
Okay.
because she likes the wildlife.
And Aphrodite too. You talk about Aphrodite quite a lot.
What is that?
You talk about Aphrodite or Venus quite a lot.
Yes, I included her in my own private stories, which I call the twin stories. And she was a favorite in the court of Atlas, the Titan. She was basically older than the pantheon, the Zeus, because she's always been around. I called in this twin stories, I called her Fro.
And you call her deity sometimes. I know.
A little bit ditey sometimes, but Fro for the most part was when I was in Atlas's court.
So these are experiences you've had. Like I've written about some of my astral experiences as well. And they're like there are things that actually happen, but they're the quality of like a dream or something. How do your encounters take place?
Through my stories, which are my memories of my first emanation ever, and the things that I did, and the places I went, and the place where all the Greek gods came from, I called Canthon. It wasn't Mount Olympus, but it was a total other planet, and is where they all came from. All the teams of watchers and stuff, including Atlas and Zeus. And I was just talking about Zeus last night too.
Oh, care to share what you were talking about, or
Well, it's a little bit racy. I was talking, the gods can come back in any form they want.
yes, again.
I can say, take Zeus, for example. He came back as a husband to some, queen. He came back as a swan, for God's sake, a bull, for goodness sake. Why didn't he just maintain the human form? I said, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to. He can come back as a blonde Adonis for all I care. But the Greeks pictured him in a certain way. And
But
so,
they include in the mythology, so it's there from the beginning that
well,
no,
the statues too, you got the black hair and,
right,
Hera's got the black hair. They all look damn good to me. I don't see what Paris had a problem with when he was asked to give the, the most beautiful one the golden apple.
yes, the contest that ended the age of heroes.
Well, that's the story. Did Homer make it up based on like we do stuff today?
Mhm.
I wish I had a time machine to go back and see what really happened, and maybe he did tell the truth, but Homer was 500 years later, and maybe it's just a story he was spinning. But I'll tell you this, when I saw my mother's, the Trojan mother that Cassandra had, when I
Mhm.
saw the exhibition here in Philly, and I turned to my housemate and said, "Oh, there's Mom's jewels." So Priam evidently was very prolific. Said he had 50 sons and 50 daughters. At least that's what the translation was in the Latin I was translating in high school.
Mhm.
And it says that's pretty prolific. He must have had more than one wife, more than Hecuba. But I identified Hecuba as my mother, and maybe she had more than a few kids. Wouldn't put it past her.
Have you met other Olympians in your journey here?
Yes, yes, I have. Well, of course, there was Aphrodite and Apollo, and yes, Hermes. Definitely Hermes was in my story. Yeah, in my twin stories. And he never saw what Atlas saw in my twin flame. And then he met my daughter, because I actually had some daughters, and fell in love with her. And it's interesting because one of my missions was to come to Earth to introduce the present gods to the other branch. And it looks like they already had. Hermes married a daughter of Atlas, Maya. And so he had both the old and the new blood in him.
Yeah,
So somebody got here before me.
they've been here all along. They never went anywhere.
Oh, no, I know that. But I think the mission has changed too, because mankind is about to take a leap into an evolutionary advance. And I know that they know that. And they know that, like Captain Cisco, I'm an emissary.
So a lot of people who are not totally of this world, they've also said that there's going to be a leap in evolution, some sort of great positive change coming. I was speaking with the Unariist folk a few nights ago, and they were saying that part of their mission is to remind people that we have a positive future ahead of us. And
Yes, we do. You just got to get through this mess. Oh, geez, what a mess it is.
yeah, yes, it definitely is. It's a very interesting time to live in. If you thought about it in memory, living through it is not that much fun.
One of the advances in evolution came in the year 1177, what we call BC, where a lot of things underwent a remarkable change. It wasn't necessarily the advancement, but it was an advancement. A lot of things happened in 1111. I can't talk. 1177 BC, and I have a whole book on it, including the Trojan stuff.
Is it a book that you wrote or a book that somebody else wrote? Because you're very prolific in your
Oh
writing.
no, it's a book somebody else wrote.
Yeah, I have a whole library too on the ancient Greeks in a variety of contexts, everything from Atlantean to uh, extraterrestrial civilizations and so forth.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I have not a huge library, but I have one that takes up a whole room, and then my housemate, who no longer lives with us, she has about four bookcases in her room. There's about five downstairs between the living room and the front room.
Sounds like my house.
Is he here? No. Okay. I wanted to have all the kingdoms in this room when I talk to you, but the animal is not here. But the plant is and the rock is, you know.
Very good. My dog is not that far away. She came to visit. I thought she'd sit on my lap, which is what she usually does, but she decided not to do it today.
Yeah.
So you're one of the few people I've met that describes the relationship with the Olympians as familial, as part of a family. I
Yes.
I feel that way toward the Olympians, and I've met several other people who describe the relationship that way. Um, in what sense are they family?
A cousin,
Okay.
because I'm from a different branch of the Celestials, not from their branch, but a different branch. And that branch feels it's time to come out, as it were. And they've been hidden for eons as they develop. And as the Olympians, as we call them, or any of the others across the globe have developed, they know the time of change is coming and their mission will change too, from watchers to mentors.
Why do you think that change will take place? Like,
Oh, because it's destined to. Um, Now, I was with Amorc, right?
yes.
But I was also with another derivative called the Fellowship, the Rosicrucian Fellowship. And they have an oncology, sort of like um, the Theosophists, that describes the evolutionary days of mankind. And you can find this reflected in the Hindi works as well. Um, we had the Saturn age first, the darkness. Then we had the Moon age. And then we had the Sun age. We are now in the fourth age, Earth, where everything is very material. And it's material because we need to understand how things are put together, not only by atom and molecule, but by consciousness.
So is this like the law of manifestation or the law of attraction, as people are calling it, or is it something different?
This is something different. This takes into all the laws, including the higher law of association.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you're familiar with that or our listeners are familiar with that.
So explain a little bit so everyone can become familiar with it.
Some of you might think of this as string theory. Everything is interacting together, and physics shows how they do it. And of course, we have the quantum physicists with all their um, equations and stuff to confound us. It's like a stenography.
Hmm.
Unless you have a lot of years writing all this stuff on blackboards, windows, walls, um, you don't get it. But a good thing, a good example is baseball, is sports. Okay. And birds. Birds fly. Where do they know to go? Trigonometry in the brain. We are born with trigonometry in our brains. We can intuitively know how fast to throw that baseball or that football. They know how to, we all have it. All the animals have it, including the super smart octopus.
Yes, octopuses are remarkably smart. My
Oh,
wife
yeah.
was twin and shared what she found. I was quite amazed.
Okay, but we all have that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to play sports or know how fast to throw a javelin to hit the enemy, or how fast, how to pose a gun, say,
Hmm.
or how to smack your face. We wouldn't know that unless we had the trigonometry in our heads. We were born with that.
Okay, so we're remarkable creatures with advanced math inside our head to do certain things, some of which we shouldn't be doing. Okay, so we're here on this earth. We each have a mission of some sort that we're carrying out, and sometimes we cross paths with other people who also have missions, and we're here, and then we wind up doing things together uh, to some degree or another. And the nature of these missions is going to change to become more personal, more teaching. You're the second person today I've spoken to that talked about that. So the universe,
Okay. The fifth day, quote, day, which we're coming up on, will
okay,
be the Jupiter age.
okay.
What a surprise, right? Uh, generosity, magnanimity, all the positive things that Jupiter is that we know of. And that'll be succeeded by the Venus age. And then we will have the final day. And then we will go from there into something else entirely. But you will have noticed there are a lot more psychics running around with different abilities than there used to be.
Yes, the internet has opened the door to a lot of things that before you had to look for if you wanted to find them. Sometimes it took forever to find them, and it took lots of money to obtain them. But now I found translations of books that when I was younger took me years to find and lots of money. Uh, Free translations on the internet. In that way, it's good. But I miss the quest. The quest was great too. You find a reference somewhere, it resonates, you have to read that piece of material. You go to antiquarian bookstores and see what they could do. Then you go to thrift shops and other places like that, used bookstores to see maybe it's sitting around in there. I remember one time I was looking for a book for weeks that I was told to get, and then you know where I found it?
In your own library,
No, I had a feeling to walk down the street that I had no reason to walk down, but I trust my gut instincts.
right?
Walked down the street, and a copy of this very hard to find Rosicrucian book was on a stair outside, and nobody was next to it. So I guess they decided I'd looked for it long enough to just give it to me, So that was my present for that day.
Was it by Winslow?
No, no.
Okay, because those are hard to get too. Big and written back in 1912 and that sort of thing, and sort of discontinued from the current AMWORK people. But I have them. Haha.
Christian organizations and several different Masonic type of organizations and Hermetic organizations. There are a lot of societies of different types that keep certain knowledge alive and perform certain actions that need to be performed.
Yeah, a lot of my path through this life of spirituality didn't start in any mystical way. In fact, my parents didn't even know the word psychic. It came through stories, which I poured out on paper. It came through DC Comics. It came through science fiction stories I found in our library. Later on, movies that I was able to see. The messages were there for me, but they weren't written in philosophical books, and
Right.
they still are. David Gerald being the next one up on the list.
I have a lot of shows that focus on pop culture because that's true generally for me and for a lot of people that they were looking for certain knowledge or information and it popped up in fiction, it popped up in comic books, it popped up in cartoons, it popped up in games, it popped up in movies, and
Yes.
they got the information in that way, and it kind of filled in a lot of blanks that they had inside their own minds. I consider that a very valid way of getting this type of information, and that's why I focus on it a great deal.
Yeah, the masters, they don't tell you to go read this, exacting tome of proverbs and stuff like that. Even Jesus spoke in parables. He used stories because people can identify with stories. And so that's a lot of what we have continuing at this day and age. The messages are in stories that are common.
And that's the key. They're common. The stories play out over and over and over again. And if anyone's a Joseph Campbell fan, he wrote The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And
Yeah.
those in there and through some of his other writing that we live these stories too. So
Yeah, we do.
we're being told. And I've always found that my spiritual journey by awakening to the archetypal energies in the archetypal world I can change the story. I'm not doomed to live it and relive it over and over and over again, which is what happens to a lot of people. But I can make a different choice and change the plot around a little bit and get a, a
Right.
timeless tale.
So there are certain stories that I do like, and I do have a code name. It's Phoenix One.
Hmm.
And wherever I have lived or worked, there's been a phoenix. My last job had a phoenix right on the portico. The fire department, the
Hmm.
phoenix statue was right out front. So you want to find me, look for a phoenix. I'm there. It's so simple.
Phoenix is something that works a code word for me too. The Tyrian Hercules, one earlier than the Greek version of Hercules, his totem bird was the phoenix. So I've been told since youth that people that are going to play key roles will identify themselves as a phoenix.
Right.
That's been true, and you didn't know that the phoenix was important to me before you shared that with me originally. But I knew, when I was told that, oh, okay, another phoenix. So keep my ears and eyes open as I interact with it, see where this goes.
Well, hi, I'm out here. I'm a phoenix.
Nice
In
to meet
fact,
you.
in fact, the moon in Scorpio designates inner phoenixes.
Uh-huh. And you have written a lot of original material. Um, is this material channeled, or is it reasoned, or is it inspired, or is it calculated?
I'm sorry, try again?
You've written a lot of metaphysical material that's scientific in nature.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's more metaphysical. Yes, I've written about the sound that is inherent to each person. Um, I've written about the 10 astrology as a 10-dimensional science.
Mhm.
Okay, not meaning a dimension you travel to, but a dimension that is represented by the 10 planets. And I wrote about that. And I just recently learned that the astrology is a biophysical science. And of course, everything depends on physics. And I learned that from Sheldon in Big Bang Theory. And he was the one who inspired me to actually, the writers there, I should say, not the actor, inspired me to look at something in another way. And I found that consciousness promotes four, say four, uh, of all of the qualities of celestial material objects, which are gravity, fluidity, polarity, and electromagnetism. You will find that in all these are common in the physical celestial objects, the comets and the planets and the moons and all of that. And the thing that guides them is the law of perfection, which we also can call consciousness. And that's idea, desire or will, and manifestation.
Mhm.
And these are the only 7 things that count that we know of in our Earth age, our material age. And physics is behind it all. In fact, I just read something on Facebook. So I get stuff from NASA and other science websites
Uh-huh.
that they're now rethinking about time too, that consciousness guides everything instead of these four count them, qualities of celestial objects. And of course, metaphysicians have known for centuries that man usually has it bass backwards. So now they're finally catching up, saying it's about bloody time.
Yeah, I was listening today to shows about quantum mechanics and the mathematics of consciousness. And they were saying that they're beginning to get a math that takes you beyond the space-time continuum that we're currently experiencing reality through, and that everything's pure consciousness. And he said that they can't get patterns yet, but they get like weird geometric shapes. And when I'm doing my thing and I'm heavily involved in my creativity, I've described it throughout my life, and I'm over 60 now, I'm almost 70, that I experience life when I'm very creative is a series of weird geometric shapes that make sense, even though they don't seem to make sense in the shape that they're in. But when I'm very creative, that's what's happening to me. So I was honored that somebody's discovered there's a math to my madness.
I like math puns. I have shirts with math puns on them.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I want to devote the entire shows to the things that you've written, so we'll discuss that later on. Um, in terms of the Olympians, people have described them in various ways. In the mythology, it's very clear that number one, they're beings of light, and number two, they're shapeshifters. They can turn into anything that they want to, any shape, human, animal, golden rain, whatever they want to turn into, they could turn into.
Yeah.
And they are intimately connected with humanity and have taken active roles in this evolution throughout the ages. So, other than these things which are there in all the lore, what have you found about the Olympians that impressed you or that stands out?
They're quite modern.
Yes.
Yes. Currently, they are not subscribing to man's ideas of them because man's ideas are based on ancient mythology. And what's going on is I see their it's not handiwork, but I see the signs that they are alive and kicking
Hmm.
in modern things. I just saw Athena's trash removal the other day, and it's like, and I saw Atlas moving van, and
I love synchronicities like that when they happen.
yeah, it's like, and Artemis has a number of things out there. So, I mean, they're making their presence known, at least in business respect. But they're out there. I know they're out there because mankind wouldn't use these names if they weren't there, right?
Right. They're still very much around. They never went anywhere. They were never like totally forgotten. They lived on through education, through the arts, and through our psyches. Uh, Jane Shanuda Bowen, I think her name was, wrote The Goddess is in Every Woman and the Gods in Every Man, and showed how the gods are alive inside of us, inside our psyche.
Yes, some guy named Satori is telling me about Hecate
Yeah,
and
he's a child of Hecate.
Hecate.
Yeah,
Okay.
it means the 100th one in Greek.
Yes, but she seems to be so much more than that.
Yes,
And
he's complex and very nice.
right now he's not experiencing her as a mentor, but as, somebody who just, here's your assignment, go do it. That sort of thing. And that's the thing that we have to get out of at this point. Unfortunately, mankind, for the most part, doesn't realize what's going on. They will, of course. So,
Well, I think the relationships with the Olympians and any powers really is a very private individual thing. So some people are going to react to them like their supervisors or bosses, other people like to family or friends, other people as mythical figures. So they don't seem to mind these different ways of it, from what I understand, it's whatever works. If you want to imagine them with thunder and lightning in the sky and wearing togas, then there's no big deal to appear like that. And
yeah, you brought up something recently about you changed the name of this, what is the star gods to the Elohim,
yes,
which is a very Jewish word for, it's a plural.
right.
And it's something that's talked about in the I am prophecies.
Yes,
How Zeus and Hera are Elohim, and their power is so great, it's difficult for them to come closer to the earth because their abilities would just kind of overwhelm the whole planet. And I get that, but they still help. And I think Hera's marvelous. She's
I like
simply marvelous.
yeah, I like Hera also. One of the groups that has been communicated to us is the sixth revelation of the Olympia book. And there, the some of their celestial beings have revealed themselves to be the Greek gods,
Hmm.
like Zeus and Hera, the universal father and the universal mother. And in neo-theosophy, the I am movement, primarily, Hercules and Athena are part of the Elohim. And
Yes, because we have messages from them
yes,
that came through Elizabeth and Mark Prophet.
and others as well. There were
Yeah,
other people, but they were the most famous and the most widely known and the most widely respected.
I still have their messages saved here in my house.
I have a whole shelf of them too.
Cool.
I don't have older books, but I have a lot of them. I used to have more, but I didn't see the need to replenish them after I lost them during one of my many moves. But I have the Elohim books. I have the Green Love, and then the Bridge to Freedom was another group that channeled messages from the Elohim and all the other masters. And we're going to be using that in a series of things that I'm doing, the neo-theosophical system. I like neo-theosophy because Moses and Kuan Yin and Zeus can all get together to see what they can do to help humanity evolve.
As they do at Shambhala.
Yes, so I like that story, and I think it's a lot healthier than a lot of the more ethnic stories. And I'm Greek, and I'm very into the Olympians. I'm sure in great part because I'm Greek, and I've had many resonances with them. But I wanted to move in a direction where everybody's welcome to work together to solve the problems of humanity. And if I stuck with the purely ethnic pantheon like the Olympians,
Yeah.
that's not going to resonate with everybody. But the neo-theosophical way of organizing the powers, there, everybody works together and they attend conferences.
Yeah, I was interested in ISIS.
Yes.
There was a kids' TV show some decades back about um, a young girl who came across an amulet that made her into ISIS, and she was very heroic in what she did. And there is a series of 6 books that features the sun and the moon twins, the silver and the gold twins that have Egyptian associations. So I think one is called The Alchemist, and let's see, I have them on my shelf over here, but I'm not going to get up and look at them.
No, Don. I have the ISIS television programs. I have the entire run of them.
Okay.
That ISIS character was in the comic books also and in cartoons. She was in a cartoon called Freedom Force, where she was with Hercules, Merlin, and Super Samurai.
Oh, cool.
And Sinbad, I think, was in it also.
I had a Japanese life once.
Did you?
I did. About the mid 1500s.
Hmm.
I was male and I was a celebrated poet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you try to find your poetry? Did it survive?
Um, I like to write a lot of haiku and tanka.
Oh, very cool. So you
Yeah.
kept that like alive in this life.
So yeah, it captures one concept and has to describe the concept through imagery. But a lot of poets these days don't even bother with that. They just use the form. And
Mm.
then they would put them on a painting to capture the essence visually.
Now, you described your path in this incarnation as one of remembrance,
Yes.
and that's very resonant and that's very important and says a lot. Can you share what that means a little bit more with the audience?
Remembrance in this life is recovering all the memories of the life I had from my first emanation on up to now. Learning that the stories I wrote, even though the names were not the same, the events that I went through
Hmm.
got me here. Um, and here in the constellation of Orion is where I get my memories back. Of course, from age 58 on up, they were coming like faster and faster. And I'm not sorry, it's like I want to shake somebody and say, enough, cool it down, slow it down. I've only got 7 years left to live if my dream was correct.
I hope you're around much longer than me.
Yeah, well,
In good health.
I have female relatives who live to 199 and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, please don't make me go that far. I'm looking forward to all the stuff. I was recently invited to belong to Shambhala,
Hmm.
and I learned that the answers were not yes and no.
Interesting riddle. I'll have to contemplate it in my
I know
meditation.
what the answer is because it was accepted.
Okay, great.
And the answer, if you want to know it, is simply whatever works for the better good.
Yeah, whatever works seems to be a very important precept. I mentioned it a little while ago too, that if you want to talk to somebody with long hair and a toga, wearing golden jewelry and having lightning flashes in the sky, they'll accommodate. It's no big deal. The shapeshifters, they're beings of energy and light, as are we for that matter.
Yeah, well, Jesus ran around with all that stuff not on him, so I figured, why not? I'll just walk around in clothes and no jewelry and no headdress, and I'll still get my point across. I'll tell stories.
I tell stories too, and I report things that have happened also. Um, are you still looking for a publisher for your book?
Oh, I have those written down on a small piece of paper, the ones that you gave me, and I haven't gotten into it yet because of the drama with moving our housemate to a nursing facility and getting her settled in. She's got early stage dementia.
Yeah, that's rough. My aunt had dementia.
Yeah, this is the stage that's the roughest on everybody because they realize something's wrong and you know what's wrong, but you can't argue it with them
Right.
because they think it's the honest to God truth. And then they'll say something one day and they'll forget about it 2 days later and it's like, okay, whatever. It's yeah, it's rough. I went through it with my mother, but Mary's having a much harder time with it than my mom did.
Well, I'm glad that she's in a place where the stress level is reduced for her and for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can go out somewhere and not be stressed out about leaving her behind, thinking about what if she falls down the stairs? What if she takes too much sleep medicine? I don't have that to worry about anymore.
That must be a huge weight lifted off your shoulders, like Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Atlas to me is a lesson not to take up a burden that isn't mine for too long.
Well,
Because
I think he was not really literally carrying the world. He was just in charge of the whole thing.
yeah, the weight of the world the weight of the sky actually on the shoulder. And in several authors' renditions of the myth, they point to that. What will happen if you stop holding the sky? Is the sky going to fall? And Atlas discovers that no, it doesn't. But then he discovers that he's so accustomed to having the weight of the sky, the heavens on his shoulders that he feels wrong without it.
Yeah, well, you can get used to not having it. I know that one.
Yeah.
So what else?
What else? I'm trying to get to talk to you to figure out what we can talk about that'll fit within the time that we have remaining. What
Huh.
after what when you finish here, when you remember everything from the time of your beginning to the time that is now that'll be ending, what next? Will you stop
I mean,
incarnating or
oh no. I will be a master in the field.
okay,
See, there are seven that are at Shambhala, but there are five that are in the field.
okay,
Okay, I will probably have a younger version of this form remaining like Saint Germain does. His last form was what in the 17th no 18th century, and so he appears like that all the time now. Um, this might be my last material life, but I will be able to recompose, as they say, what I am now.
so you'll be like an earlier and an optimal version of yourself.
Yeah, the brown hair and the less weight.
So you're gonna work with people more individually then, rather than more at a distance? Because I know like a spirit guide.
I will be with groups. Let's
Okay.
let's put it that way. Like my son Saint Germain is. Um, I am with groups now, and I will also, as an empath and an astrologer, be involved in the awakening of others who need to be awakened at this point in time to help push forward the uh, the the day we're coming into, the Jupiter day.
Hmm. And how will the world change on the Jupiter day? Like right now, there's a lot of commerce, and commerce seems to rule everything. And it plays a very large role in the decisions that are made in our survival in the worlds that we've created. Um, how will it be different under Zeus?
Um, this can be found throughout theosophy works, the Bible, Rosicrucian stuff. How does the phrase "in the twinkling of an eye" sound to you?
Sounds good.
It'll be dark one minute and it'll be different the next. In the twinkling of an eye.
So everything will just change, and like in a dream, we'll think that's the way the reality is now and just adjust to it.
Um, we are so used to thinking of things in material terms. The earth will change too. Okay, I have seen this in a dream. The
Hmm.
7 stages of earth, the earth will become lighter, physically lighter. So it will be able to pass into another dimension, and we will begin to see all the things that we couldn't see. Animals will be able to talk to us, for instance. They will be able to communicate.
Now with words, but with noises,
No, with words,
with ways of looking at it.
with
So
speech.
it'll be a speech. Okay.
In fact, it's happening right here and right now in Philadelphia. My one cat, actually, before he passed on, we asked him what he wanted. He says, "I want out."
He said that?
He said that. He said a
Wow.
perfect sentence in perfect syntax and used a pronoun to refer to himself. So he was self-aware. It
Wow, that's amazing.
it is. He was an amazing cat. And the other two, they've gotten to the word no, saying perfectly, and they know exactly what it means. um, it's starting to happen to all the animals. In fact, some of the AI pictures that you see on Reels on Facebook, they're
Right.
they're they're based on actual instances. They just enhance them a little bit more. You know, we all know that dolphins have helped mankind throughout the ages.
Right. They have.
Okay, how about orcas?
I don't know too many orca stories, but they're
Yeah, yeah.
seaborn mammalians, so I'm sure they have great intelligence and
And
every.
animals helping other species which they would normally eat.
Yes.
Yes, this is starting to happen.
So you think people will become vegetarian?
Uh, I think that eating might not be such an issue.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I know.
because we will all be later and we will be able to emanate through us the abilities we used to have in a different age. Remember dragons?
Yes.
We were the dragons.
Yes.
Yeah. And the mythological animals that they write about, they used to exist.
Yes.
And we used to work together with them.
They haven't gone anywhere either. They're still around. They're more in the etheric. They're not in this level of consciousness.
Right.
They're still alive.
And we will be able to see them again. In fact, one of my dreams a couple decades ago was a mammalian, weasel looking like thing
Okay.
with 7 legs on either side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was their name?
I'd have to look it up. It's been 20, 30 years since I had it, but I still remember it. I think I was in college, you know? I could have been in college then.
So you have a lot of stuff, and you should publish it.
Yeah, I was going to write to Llewellyn first, but I want to think, do I want anything else besides those 12 essays in the book? I mean, it's going to be a small book if that's the case, but I just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah,
Like I said, the drama with Mary has occupied my time.
I can understand that. Yeah, aside from the well, that's a big and
Yeah, you had something about Red Book and let's see. Oh no, that's not that one. I have them on my desk here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I sent you that one yesterday. Okay, it's around here somewhere.
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Inbox in the record. Um, but yeah, I tried publishing different people. Tim Schwartz, he has Zontar Press, and a lot of my books were published through Tim Beckley's company, which his niece and his cousin are continuing with.
yeah.
And, there's Llewellyn and
Yeah, since my concussion, I've been trying to catch up on stuff. So
you.
yesterday I was able to drive for the first time without any repercussions.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, I still have to rest a bit more, but you know me. If I don't do 6 things a day, I'm thinking I'm slow.
Good. You keep yourself focused and organized and motivated, and you accomplish a lot.
Well, it's not the point about accomplishing a lot. It's just in a timely manner so that the body isn't overtaxed. I'm 75. I'm getting older too. Maybe I'll buy a head of lettuce and go barbarian on it.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's how you tell her to do it. If you want to get the core out, you go wham and just rip out the core.
I haven't gone barbarian on the head of lettuce yet, so
Oh, you got to try it. It's awesome.
I have to try it one day.
Yeah, you just smash it and everybody's looking around. What the hell did you do? So, yeah, being in Earth human form, it can be fun.
Yes, it can. This is a very interesting time to live. It's a very scary time to live in some ways, but it's very interesting. In retrospect, it will make for a lot of great stories that will be told for a long time.
Yeah, I've got a lot of the twin stories, but I'm incorporating them in sort of my autobiography because I include the dreams and the visions as well.
Now, I found that one of the things that I've been doing for my entire life is creating ways for people who are metaphysically inclined to communicate with each other because it's difficult to be metaphysically inclined before the internet, especially because if you share with the people close to you your experiences, you directly experience it. A lot of times, oh, you're crazy, or that's you're making it up, or that's nonsense, and so people tend to like shut up after a while. When I was in Pennsylvania and other places, I used to have a regional folklore society, the Society for the Study of Living Mythology. I used to make associations also and hold meetings in libraries and other places. And a lot of
Yeah,
people used to come, and after the first couple of times they came, they'd say that they're glad they came because they had these experiences and they weren't taken seriously or they were mocked. But now they're meeting other people with similar experiences. So it's very freeing for them. And I like the internet because you can find other people who see the world in similar ways or have had similar experiences, and you can
yeah,
communicate and then share the communications with others, and people can see that they're not alone, or that what makes sense to them makes sense to other people too.
yeah. I run into a lot of that at science fiction conventions
Hmm.
where I actually feel comfortable, like being on Babylon 5.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have all these different societies and cultures and stuff around. And in my first emanation, I was used to that. So it makes me comfortable to be there. It's like all these different people that come together and then, you know, from many into one.
I'm starting a thing. I told you about it, but on Stargate. There's a bring Stargate back. So
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
the movie, there was the universe of the first movie that came out in paperback books and comic books and
Yeah.
a bunch of toys. Then HG1, SG1. Then there was Atlantis.
Right.
The,
I
the,
enjoyed Atlantis.
then there was a cartoon sometime during that time, Stargate Infinity.
Yeah, I missed that one.
And there were video games and there were more toys and there were tons of novels. I was buying the novels as they came out back in the day, and I never even got them all. That continued long after,
It's too overwhelming. It's too much too soon.
and now they're not going to reboot it. They're going to continue it, and
Oh,
so they're not going to make it necessary that you know the old stuff that came before. They want you to fall in love with the new show and then look up the old stuff later on.
sounds okay. What do you think?
I think it's great, and I'm going to do a show around it. But the show is also going to focus on the reality of real Stargates,
Right.
and it's also going to focus on the Olympians seen through the lens of science fiction, because they appeared on Star Trek, as you know, you spoke about that earlier, and they appeared on another show, Battlestar Galactica. The Greek gods were the lords of Kobol,
Yeah.
and they had Apollo,
Yeah.
Athena, and
We're
stuff.
all just skin jobs.
Yeah, yeah. And so I like how the mythical personas of long ago that still resonate in our culture the way they are, they mutated into different aspects of themselves. Like Superman is very clearly Hercules or one of the solar avatars, and Wonder Woman is like Artemis or the Amazons or Athena, and sometimes they interact with their earlier mythical selves in the stories.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Supergirl TV show.
Yes, I enjoyed that a lot. That was my favorite one of the CW shows. And now I'm looking forward to the movie. Let's see what they did
Yeah.
with the new
And I
movie.
like the female Captain Marvel.
Yes.
She's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. I'm a big fan of the superhero movies. And I have a whole library of books showing how the ancient gods made it into the new comic book mythology. Some of them written by Marvel, some by DC, some by psychiatrists, some by social scientists. So
Yeah.
a lot of people came to the same conclusion, approach in different ways. So I'm a
Well,
little,
I look forward to getting the Percy Jackson season one TV series if I can find it elsewhere instead of eBay.
yeah, I finally found one.
That's definitely Greek god stuff.
I had two movies of the first season, and I don't know if they came up with a second season yet. I haven't watched it in a
I
while.
think they're just doing the second season now.
Oh, good. So I didn't miss any.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to get the first season and find a place to get it rather than eBay because people just bid on that stuff and I might never get it and
Did
I
you
want it.
find these on? Sometimes Amazon has them.
What's that?
Sometimes Amazon has them recently.
Amazon doesn't have it yet.
Oh, okay.
Like rats.
I think I got mine from eBay.
Yeah.
I didn't have to bid it. I found one buy now.
Yeah, you can select that.
Yeah, and it was reasonably priced, so I bought it from there. And
Okay.
our time
Looks,
is approaching an end. How can
yeah, 9:57.
how can people get in contact with you?
Oh, I always say it, but nobody ever contacts me. PJ Fernsler at Outlook.com. You know, that's where I am.
Okay, well, we'll be seeing more of you on the podcast, so I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank Tony for helping you out with the computer, and
Yeah.
uh, thank your cat for not having an opinion on for today's show.
Yep, they didn't come in here.
And be well, Cam. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Hercules.
Okay, thank you, and thanks to all who tuned in. Until next time, this is us wishing you a happy holiday, joyous journeys, and amazing adventures. Good night, everybody.
Good night.